Man, the UFC light heavyweight division is cursed because we have another champion that's injured and has decided to relinquish his belt. That's Jamal Hill, who announced it last night. I found out while I was scrolling through Instagram before I went to bed. I wanted to see if there was any new UFC news. And of course, the first post on my feed is Jamal Hill, and it says, breaking news, head over to my YouTube channel. And there he is fighting back tears, telling me that he has a serious injury, a ruptured Achilles tendon. I think he got injured playing basketball as well. We've seen Jamal Hill playing a lot of pickup basketball with guys like DC, Phil Rowe, even Bilal Muhammad's been out there on the courts. Maybe Bilal Muhammad did some weird move and fluked it up a little bit and had Jamal Hill slip on a banana peel. But either way, guys, this absolutely sucks for the light heavyweight division because whoever gets the belt next is not going to be a legitimate champion. And we're going to get to that. But the first thing I have to say is we need to give Jamal Hill some serious respect because there's something about these light heavyweights. Jamal, Yuri Prochazka, there's just such a purity, a true martial arts spirit at the top of that division that not many other guys have in the UFC because both of these men have decided to relinquish the belt and everything that comes with it, the guaranteed pay-per-view points that you get whenever you fight as a sitting champion, all the endorsement deals, all the sponsorships, all the clout. They're tossing that to the wayside because they are so confident in their ability. And not only are they confident in their ability, but they believe that if I cannot win every single fight from here on out, then I don't deserve to be a champion in the first place. So we have to give Jamal Hill some serious respect. He could have just sat out as a champ. He could have had the opportunity to, whenever he fights again, to get pay-per-view points, to parade around with his belt in the offseason. And that would have been better for him and his money and his bag. But he's really about the code of honor. He's really got some serious integrity. It's easy to say, dude, I would do the same thing that Yuri did until it actually comes down to it. It really reminds me of Corey Sandhagen deciding to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. Everyone's telling Corey Sandhagen that he shouldn't fight Umar, and Corey Sandhagen could arguably wait out for a title shot. He's been at the top of the division for so long, but he's came out and he's told us, you know what? Screw all that. All right, if I can't beat this Umar guy that you are trying to tell me is undeserving, then I don't deserve to be a champion in the first place. As a champion, you should be able to beat anyone that the UFC puts in front of you. And that's the same energy that Jamal Hill has embodied. Him and Yuri Prochazka, they're different kinds of cats. They have a lot of integrity, man, and you got to respect it. And guys, it's time to talk about the state of the division because it's just in complete shambles, right? This belt is plummeting down the rankings. There's this domino effect to where the champions are being watered down. We already had people questioning Jamal Hill as a champion, saying that, oh, he only beat Glover because Glover was softened up after Yuri Prochazka brought him to a war. And now it's going to be Alex Pereira and Jan Blachowicz fighting for a belt on UFC 291 in a couple of weeks. And whoever gets that belt is not going to be the true champion. Now, yes, there's a possibility that the UFC is going to make it an interim title fight, but I don't think that's necessary either. And some people are saying that Yuri Prochazka could be coming back to face the winner this year, but I don't think Yuri's coming back this year either. We know how serious his injury was. As far as I'm concerned, if Yuri was going to come back, the UFC would have announced it already. They just announced John Jones and Stipe Miocic for November, which is the second to last pay-per-view of the year, right? Unless they were gung-ho about Jamal and Yuri fighting in December, I doubt that that fight was going to take place this year to begin with. So even though Yuri is going to walk right into a title shot when he comes back, because you could make the argument that he is the true champ, he's not going to be fighting for it next. What's next is Alex Pereira and Jan Blachowicz. And both of those guys are legends, right? Jan Blachowicz was a defending champion in the light heavyweight division, defended his belt against Israel Adesanya, won the belt off of Dominic Reyes, the guy that beat John Jones. I don't want to hear any talk about him not actually beating John Jones. He did. Jan Blachowicz has only had one dog shit performance since he's won that belt, and that was against Glover Teixeira. Other than that, he's done well. He brought Magomed Ankalaev to a draw, which also was terrible for the division. And yes, he deserves to be at the top. He could be fighting for the belt on any given day. He's that good. But it's like, it only really matters if you're fighting the guy that really is the champion. Both of these guys, Alex Pereira, former middleweight champ, they're not fighting the true champs. And it's like, how are you going to get a belt wrapped around your waist if you're not taking out the guy, right? The UFC is going to put the belt on the line because they're going to try to draw more eyes with the idea of it being 2 title shots rather than 1, the BMF title. And of course, we have Pereira and Jan Blachowicz fighting for the undisputed belt. I don't think that's necessary. It reminds me of Josh Emmett fighting Yair Rodriguez on the same card as Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev. It was totally unnecessary. They could have just made that a #1 contenders fight. And that's actually what I hope the UFC does. Because, man, I can't help but cringe at the idea of the belt being wrapped around one of these guys' waists. I respect both men. Once again, they're both maybe worthy of fighting for a title on any given day in that division. But if it's not against the true champion, I don't think it should be on the line. I want to know what you guys think about that. Am I maybe overreacting a little bit? Because I don't want the sitting champion to be a watered down paper champ. I want people to view the champ as the guy that's truly the best in the division. I mean, you think about the undisputed title, right? Well, there's a lot of dispute to be had with the belt being won in that potential fight. As much as it's interesting to think about, oh, the title's on the line, I'm not going to get fooled by that at all. This is exactly what the UFC wants. If they're going to put this title on the line, they want us to be more hyped than ever. They want us to be telling all our friends, you know, there's a title fight going on. Yeah, we should really chalk up all of our cash. Don't be fooled. Don't be someone that just mindlessly goes along with whatever the UFC does. Dude, I'm going to watch. Don't get me wrong. I love that matchup. But come on, I don't want to hear people acting so excited about the fact that the title's on the line. You don't have to be an all-out purist of the game. But come on, dude, you got to call out this bullshit, bro. You cannot be fighting for the belt unless you're taking out the man himself. And it almost makes me wish that Jamal Hill were to just hold on to that shit. He's got a bunch of kids, man. Like, it would have been better for him to just do that. Yuri Prohaska's already held up the division a little bit by being out too, right? I feel like these guys sitting out is almost holding up the division more than anything, because at least when you have a champion that is on the sidelines, that's waiting in the wings, you know exactly who's up next. Whereas if Yuri is the one that relinquishes his belt and Jamal Hill wins it next, well, the whole idea is, well, now Jamal has to fight Yuri upon his return and he can't fight anyone else in the meantime. It's a total mess. It's a total fucking mess. Because imagine if Alex Pereira were to take out Jan Blachowicz, smoke him, and then a week later he gets injured at like a Brazilian barbecue in Connecticut. You know, maybe he's got a little bit of a mishap with, you know, archery or who knows what happens. And we get news of Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann, Superman Spam, the guy to knock out Dominic Reyes, is fighting for the undisputed title, and we're going to do it in Singapore. And Dana White does a mega announcement, and all the fans are going to be like, wow, the title's on the line. This is amazing. I'm going to chalk up all my money. Don't be getting hyped, guys. It's cringy. I love the fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing the fight at all. I'm just not going to shill out for the idea that all of a sudden it's a title and I should be more excited than I was before. All right, I'm not going to increase in my excitement level just because Dana White tells me that now the belt's on the line. You should even chalk up more of your money. Get more of your friends to chalk up money. I'm not doing that. All right, you can criticize it and also like it at the same time. And all of that being said, okay, I will admit, Alex Pereira winning the title in the light heavyweight division, okay, accomplishing what Adesanya could not, beating the guy that smoked Adesanya for 5 rounds, outstruck him, outclassed him, systematically shut him down. If he can go out there and KO him, oh my God, that'd be great. Jan Blachowicz winning his belt back would also be good, because that means Izzy's going to be shitting his pants at the prospect of moving back up to take out his boogeyman, or as I like to call him, Papa Adesanya. All right, maybe it's Papa Adesanya going to win that belt again. Or it's, Adesanya's OG, which is Alex Pereira. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm really looking forward to this title fight. It's probably going to be both of these guys, Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira, fighting for the belt. They're going to fight over custody for Adesanya, so I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time. What is up, guys? It's Lucas Tracy MMA here, and I want to let you guys know that I have something for you, and that's a real food cookbook. Because if you're walking around looking like Chris Dawkins, you got to get that weight off. I don't know if you think you're DC or something, but most people usually don't perform at their best when they're walking around with 30% body fat. So if you're trying to lean out and you still want to eat good, tasty comfort foods, well, you could check out my Real Food Cookbook, because I've made it a purpose to have good, tasty foods that you can still eat just without all the processed bullshit, without all the processed ingredients like soy and seed oils. So guys, check out the Real Food Cookbook. Use code MMA for 30% off. The link is in my description. Don't forget that discount.